Welcome to the Rylee June Show. I am your host, Rylee June, intuition master coach and spiritual activator. This podcast is here to support you on your growth and ascension journey, for those new to learning about their energy and for light leaders to set a standard in their work and practices within the industry. Running a multi-six-figure business as a light leader comes with great responsibility, and as I expand my work into the corners of the globe to help others reconnect with who they truly are, just know your time spent here with me is held sacredly. And for light leaders, it's time to show up. We have a massive mission to raise the awareness of human consciousness in our globe, so let's get to work. Hello, beautiful souls. Today is going to be a channeled message. I am going to be channeling it through for you right here and right now. I can feel the release, the opening come through as I yawn and just making room for what's about to come through. And it is so powerful. The topic today is about navigating change, and where I already feel like we're going to go a bit into just the discovery process of 2022. But I really want to keep this grounded in the navigation of change for you. And why I want to do this is because anyone who is coming across this episode, if you are here, it is because you have decided, you have chosen, or you are healing into change in some capacity, way, shape, and form. There is no getting around it. And what happens when we decide that we want change, like even just the decision, you look at something in your external reality, something you're facing, a cycle that's repetitive, that you're like, okay, I'm not available for this anymore. Like I'm ready to shake somebody's head and just say, stop doing this, right? You're just no longer available for whatever is happening in your life anymore. And not because it's bad, though it may feel bad and unwarranted and unwanted. It's not bad, but you have just decided you're no longer available for this anymore. You made the decision. You didn't make the plan. You haven't even looked at how this has happened, why you got here, how you got here, the energy of where you're operating from. None of that. You just decided you want change. Here is what will happen. Every time, because you decided, you became consciously aware, the light bulb switched on, that this is something that you're no longer available to stand for, to accept, to be in anymore. The light bulb switches on. And what happens is when that on a cellular level, when you activate, when you turn that light on, now your external environment is also signaled that you are no longer available for this. So what's going to happen if healing and strategizing and having the support you need to get you to where you want to be isn't in place? Your external environment is going to mirror and mimic this cellular activation that you have just come online to show you why and reinforce this decision that you have made. And that, for everyone, is so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. Because now, not only are you aware that this happens and you want it to change, but now you're having this reinforcement experience of why it needs to change and gets to change. And so typically when people desire change, they decide, okay, I'm not dealing with this anymore, I'm going to change. Their behaviors become present of how you're creating it. The people around you that have anything to do with it are equally going to become more aware and present to you of how they influence that experience. The circumstance itself typically tends to get a little bit more daunting or crazy, even though you don't want it. And in that moment, people will do one of two things. They'll either regress into the victim mentality of this is what I get, or they rise to the occasion and they choose, this fucking sucks, but I'm going to actually do something about it. And there's no right or wrong in either of those. Both paths are going to take you into learning something deeper about whatever it is you need to uncover about this experience in your life and ultimately within yourself. Both are good things, though they may not feel good, both of them, one of them more so than the other. They're both leading you to learn something more about yourself. And I'm getting acknowledged to pause because there is going to be one of you, maybe it's you listening to this, who has this self-realization moment right now. where you are either being the riser in your experience or you're choosing to be the victim in your experience. And this isn't to blame or shame wherever you are in that process. Both of them are good. Remember, the one might feel better than the other. It is about you sitting down and asking yourself, what are you going to do in this space? Because no one's coming to save you. And the only way you get out of wherever you are, regardless if you have a family or a spouse or people or community to support you or not, you are responsible for the change. And we struggle because the struggle, more release. I typically would edit this out, but I think I'm going to leave this because there's a point to all of this. Equally my yawns. The reason why you struggle is to truly teach you your own strength. And the more you allow yourself to struggle, understanding everything is a choice, the more you allow yourself to struggle, the more depth of that strength you are being invited to realize about yourself and within yourself. We have struggles and challenges and sacrifices to give way to the duality and the deep understanding of the gratitude as we're moving through healing, processing, and inevitably get to the other side, right? Struggle, challenges, sacrifices, they are a good thing, despite what people in the personal development industry may say. Actually, more so now than before, I see a lot more personal development teachers, mindset coaches, strategy, all those types of things, talking about how actually important it is to struggle and to be challenged and to sacrifice things in your life. Before, it was kind of this big airy fairy dance of, oh, you don't need to struggle, and challenges are good because you can strive for it, and yes, they absolutely do, but you shouldn't sacrifice. Sacrificing is bad. And you know what? I feel like there's this pressure put on people as soon as they start to have to go with the decisions of, I may have to sacrifice going on a budget for a bit to learn financial stability. I may have to sacrifice putting more time and effort into learning or taking this course or doing this thing to get me to where I want to be. I may have to sacrifice, doing something in exchange for something else. But where you rise beyond that being a hardship and an actual benefit to you is in the mentality and the joy that you bring to the table along the way. That's not to say everything is going to be joyous, but it is to help you to reshape the meaning of what the experience is for you, right? So I'll use myself for an example. Me and my husband in the beginning of 2021 decided that come springtime, so like March, April, I think we moved out here in April or May, we decided we were going to move into our RV and become more financially stable. We wanted to figure out how to manage our money and our debts and get everything on track. And we were going to live in here. Our plan was until the following summer, so that we could also pay off a shit ton of debt, because our costs for the month were dropping down to less than half of what they were. So we would have all this extra money to be able to do all these really incredible things surrounding debt repayment or whatever. And Phil, if you've been following along, you know that he had a heart attack not too long ago. And so our plans changed, and we have decided as of December 1st, we're going to be moving into a new place. And this place is so perfect. It is exactly what we were hoping for in literally all the ways. But one thing that I was challenged with when it came to making this decision was we had set the intention to do this so that we could pay off a bunch of debts and get financially stable. And when circumstances changed, I was being invited to really evaluate all that we were able to accomplish in this time that we've been in our RV on this bare land, this beautiful property. And what we have accomplished is stepping back and sacrificing certain spending habits that we have had, and me equally investing in courses and trainings and community spaces to learn from people to become financially stable, to where we are very clear in understanding how our money moves in and out of our accounts in our life every month, in how to properly project and forecast numbers over the coming months. For me, it supported me in being able to understand what programs I launch at what times and when. And that was basically the entirety of the purpose of why we wanted to move in here anyways. The bonus was we were going to stay longer to pay off a shitload of debt. And we might not be able to pay off all of it in the time frame that we did, though I'm always open to that being the case anyways. We accomplished literally what we set out to do. And in any form of change that occurs in your life, it's always about stepping back and reevaluating where you're at, right? So hardships are there to show you where change is required. You're going to decide either consciously or subconsciously whether you're going to choose to be the victim or the victor of that experience, and to reassess and invest in what is required for you to get you to the end result. Change is a really beautiful thing, and to some degree I feel like we all want it, we all desire it, we want the change in the positive manners, but we immediately get hung up the second that we go to make that change or we desire that change, and then everything seems to fall to pieces, right? So often when I jump on clarity calls with people, and if you're a spiritual coach or you offer any type of higher level packaging for your services, you're going to face this experience too. And one of them being that people's immediate hang up is their finances, right? Well, okay, this is amazing. I want this. And I say this because I go through this and went through this too. So I'm not just dumping on people's experiences. Like, this is literally the name of the game, right? The immediate thing where any of your fears come up, in whether you're associating pain with change or failure with change or unworthiness with change, the physical thing that shows up as a barrier is the money aspect, the financial aspect. I don't know how I'm going to get this. I don't know if I can afford this. I may or may not be on the hook with my job, so I don't know how I'm going to continue with this. But your willingness to become the victor in that circumstance, choose, even if you don't fully wholeheartedly believe that you can experience it or are worthy of the greater, grander experience, is to get really damn resourceful. And I say this because this is what has allowed me to persevere and thrive every single time. To when I started investing in coaches, it was I didn't even communicate it with my husband. I just knew that I needed to make a change for us. I was seeing success in my business. I realized that this could really go somewhere. And so I decided to take our rent for the next month and invest it in a coach. I had no idea how I was going to make that back. I had no idea how I was even going to pay the next month of my coach, or I was going to pay my coach the next month. And my husband came home that same day and he said, I woke up in the dirt face down because I had a heart attack. And that was also the same day where he was no longer going back to work. And it's really important because I had sent, the money was sent, the decision was made. I had poor communication skills that I have worked on very well since. And I'm so grateful for my husband because he has been such a big help for me in opening that up, in communicating better as a wife, as a person, and what I'm experiencing. But that money was sent and I signed the contract. There was no asking for a refund, right? So my job was to then sacrifice the time at late at night, early in the morning, and even throughout the day, right? I was used to being the mom. Him and I switched roles very quickly. He was taking care of the kids. I was working all day and night to make sure that that investment that I put into place, though it still was out of a scarcity mindset, was 100% worth it. And I was able to not only pay the rent the next month, but also my coach and more. And why I share this with you is because if you want the change, your job is finding the person to help you get there. And we can get really resourceful when we need to. And there has been countless times throughout my journey, even in the last 3 years, where I didn't know how I was going to be able to do things. And I showed the F up and I made it happen anyways. There's been times where we have sold things to make sure that things get to where they need to be, right? Where we have decided, I'm going to join this program and I'm going to be a part of this experience. And we made it happen no matter what. And so why I share this with you is because we are walking into a year where consciousness and disclosure of even more things are going to come to light. And it is going to be so easy to get distracted and fear-ridden by, holy shit, what do I do with this? How do I do this? And when I talk about disclosure, what I mean is like literally more and more disclosures about the other extraterrestrial beings that have been on this planet for many, many, many years. And the other inhabitants of civilizations on other planets that we're not told and taught about, and so many different things, right? Like wherever you're at in believing in those things, I'm going to guarantee you, like 100% guarantee you, that this is going to be a huge topic of conversation for 2022. It is by absolutely no coincidence that all of a sudden Gaia became this Netflix series thing on all things consciousness and undercover, undisclosed CIA missions and so on and so forth in the last, I think Gaia's been around for 2 years now, right? It's not by coincidence. And it's also not by coincidence that we have been taught and told that nothing else exists, and all of a sudden, it started a lot more so even back when JFK was president. He started a disclosure movement. That's actually where a lot of it started to actually come to light for people, civilians in the world. And so 2022 is going to be a huge disclosure movement, and that is ultimately also why we are constantly faced with these really big challenges and hardships right now, where you cannot avoid the mirrors. Those light switches are turning on. That activation from the desire of change is coming online for you so that you can choose to be the victor, no matter how hard that processing might be for you, the sacrifices that may need to be made. But when you go through those changes and when you follow through with your resourcefulness and you make the changes and show up for them no matter what, and most importantly, you change the meaning. You change what it's all meaning. It's not a meaning of you having to trench through the mud. It's really finding and discovering that strength within you to realize how capable you truly are, and always so much more than you could ever imagine. I never in my wildest dreams imagined that I would be building a business based on teaching people the principles and the techniques of what high-level entrepreneurs and celebrities pay millions of dollars for every year. Like, that's literally what I do. I teach you the techniques and the trainings and the processing to have the mindset hacks that high-level entrepreneurs and celebrities have. That's literally what I do. I never in my wildest dreams imagined that that's what I was going to do. And yet here I am 3 years into this, and I've helped thousands of people, right? And so change is going to be uncomfortable. Here's like probably the harshest advice I'm going to give you. Fucking deal with it. Now, what are you going to do about it? Right? And I say this to you because I say this to me. I say this to me and I say this to my husband. This fucking sucks, but what are you going to do about it? Okay? Deal with it. And he equally mirrors this right back to me when I'm like, I want to beat myself down on whatever's happening. And I'm like, this freaking sucks. I don't want to deal with this anymore. He's like, fucking deal with it. What are you going to do? I apologize if you have children in the car. I won't swear anymore. Or if you're listening with children around. Okay, but it's true, right? And sometimes we just need that harsh masculine energy that says, listen, we can do this. You weren't put in this position. You did not equally select this experience for no reason. It is a God-given reason that you are in exactly where you are right now. You have activated something. You have turned something on a cellular level, and your environment is mirroring this back to you. So how are you going to be the victor in this experience? Because God knows you can do it. I know you can do it. And even though you might fear you can't, you know you can do it too, because you chose this. You chose this experience in your life. So I want to leave this with you because we are walking into a world, into a year in 2022. Just January 1st is going to be a year review prediction podcast, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to actually record it next week. I'm going to record it a couple months in advance because I want it to be done before January so I can listen to it. But I'm just really excited about that, side note. But I want to prepare you. I want to help you to rise before we finish the year, before a new year comes into place, right? Like disclosure. You are capable of so much more. It is the quantum model of reality the capability that you have, the accessibility you have, the expansion that you have access to, it is truly undeniable. You just have to be willing to invest in and persevere and see it through for yourself. Really, that's like the easiest way to put it. So, let's talk about support. So I have, if you go to my website, either for the self-development page, the home page, or the Light Leader training page, there is a few different, literally one for each one. There's a different one. Downloadable freebies for you that you can gain access to. So I'm going to drop my website link in the notes, and you can go and click through and see which ones or all of them that they call to you. Utilize them. Utilize the free resources. They are so potent and powerful. Second up, I have the Soul Accelerator sessions. I'm going to be taking on 2 more people to support you through hyper-focus, actionable planning, and consciousness expansion for 1 month. So as you are hearing this, we can begin as early as December 1st. Or you can jump on this right now and claim your spot, and we'll start January 1st. But after January, I'm not going to be offering these anymore, if I even have any left when you hear this. So make sure you reach out to claim your spot. There's so many ways that I want to go with this. But actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave this here, and I am going to create something really powerful to support you. So stay tuned for that. We also have our Christmas Love project that we're running right now. So I'm raising funds, taking donations, your nominations, or even just asking if you can share it out publicly for the Christmas Love project. So this is a project that I created to support anonymous single parents in helping them with a Christmas miracle, and I need your help with that. So you can head over to ryleejune.ca/Christmas Love Project, and you can just see how you feel called to help. At the very least, I am asking that you please share that we are doing this, if anything, because this is something so near and dear to my heart, and we've been able to help families in the past, and this year we have a big goal of $10,000 raised. You can go and check the website to see where we're at. At this point, I update it every 24 hours so that you stay in the loop, and I really want to help 6 families this year, so I need your help to do that. So you can head over to that space and check it out. All right, I hope this episode supports you today. You are capable and worthy of change. You designed it, you desired it, you are activated into it. So let's get to work. All right, don't forget to find the magic in today. I love you, and I will see you soon.
Hey, before you go, I wanted to take a moment to just thank you so much for tuning in with me each and every week. If you weren't already aware, new episodes drop on Mondays. If you could please be so kind as to screenshot this episode, just tag me on Instagram at Rylee June with your biggest takeaway, or if you know someone who could really use the insight and guidance provided to you in this session today, I would love for you to go ahead and share this directly to them. I look forward to continuing to bring you insight, guidance, and self-mastery activation tools that you can implement into your life now to truly evolve and become the divine expander that you are. All right, I cannot wait to chat with you soon. And remember, don't forget to go and find the magic in today.